Hello and welcome back to the Shakota Public Library and Cooking with Pat. It's been a long time since we've done this, but it's fall outside and there's a nip in the air this morning. It's going to be really cold in the morning, and I thought this is a good time for us to talk about soups in cold weather. Nothing's better on a cold, rainy Saturday afternoon than to have some comfort food, and I like soup and maybe some bread to go with it. And I ran across a recipe the other day called Cabbage Patch Soup, and I thought we would try that today. The first thing I have done is I've gone ahead and I have browned my meat, and I'm now ready to add 2 cups of onion. I have a pound of ground beef that I have, and it says to drain it, but I want to tell you, this package of meat that we got today had practically no fat in it. So I didn't have to worry about draining it. So I've added 2 cups of onion, and I'm also going to add some shredded cabbage to this, and we're going to let this cook down just a little bit and let the onion and the cabbage get a little bit tender, and I'm going to stir that up. And I'm going to put a lid on it for about 5 minutes, I think, and talk about the recipe. I'm going to step out of frame for just a second. The other day, I got this Oklahoma Living magazine, and if you are with a rural cooperative electric company in Oklahoma, you get one of these magazines for free. And it's a publication that comes out once a month. And the East Central Electric Company attaches a newsletter on the inside. It's attached on the very inside, and the first thing I always turn to is the recipe that they have so I can see what they're cooking. And this month it was Cabbage Patch Soup, and it looks so good, and they're serving it with bread, and I thought this would be some good comfort food. And it calls for a pound of ground beef. I'll just have my recipe right here bigger so I can see it. A pound of ground beef, 2 14-ounce cans of stewed tomatoes, 2 cups of chopped onion, 2 cups of shredded cabbage, 2 teaspoons of chili pepper. We didn't have chili pepper, but we had chili powder. Anyway, I've got the chili peppers. I got red peppers, what I have. 4 cups of water, a teaspoon of salt, 2 15.5-ounce cans of kidney beans, and 4 teaspoons of sugar. The sugar is going to offset the acidity of the tomatoes. And what I did is I typed this recipe into a website that's called Very Well Fit, and it will have all of your nutritional value. So this morning we were looking at it, and it says this is 518 calories, and my director said it can't be. I think what I forgot to do whenever I typed this in is forgot to tell it to drain the meat, and it may be counting all that fat from the meat. And this meat did not have much fat at all. So we have redone the calories, and we think this is actually, with the bread we're serving today, is going to be about 450 calories. And what we're going to do is we're going to post the recipe online along with this video on our Facebook page, and that way you can see all the ingredients and you can see the calorie count. Now I'm going to go ahead and stir this. We talked this morning about when you have a good soup, you don't have to follow the directions exactly. Oh, this is smelling good. I wish you could smell this. I think this is going to be really good. And one of the suggestions they had in this recipe is you could add celery to this for more flavor if you want to. And I know sometimes I just go ahead and throw a little bit of minced garlic in to my soups and give it a little bit different flavor. So you don't have to follow anything exactly. This called for stewed tomatoes. Well, guess what? My director could not find stewed tomatoes at the store this morning, so we just got tomatoes. You don't have to have red kidney beans. You can have any kind of bean you want. It can be like pinto beans, it can be navy beans, whatever is your favorite bean, that's all you need to have. So you don't have to stick to a recipe. I had an aunt one time that she loved to stick to recipes. She could not deviate from them. She thought something was going to be wrong if she substituted, and that's not true. So what we do is, and you can have some of this on hand in your pantry so that on a cold afternoon and you want to have some comfort food, you can just pull some of this canned stuff out, or if you prefer frozen, you can pull some of the frozen stuff out And between the prep time and cook time, it usually takes an hour or less to make a soup like this. And you can have like a dessert to go with it if you want to. This, I think, is going to be hearty enough, and I know it has like a ton of protein in it. It's like 63 grams of protein, and it's going to have, I know, and it had like 100% of your iron, and that kind of surprised me too. But anyway, this is going to be, I think, a really hearty recipe that's going to keep you full and I can't say it. Satiated, that's what I'm going to say, satiated through the afternoon. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adding some of my ingredients. Okay, and it calls for your tomatoes, your kidney beans. I'm not a huge lover of kidney beans, but if they're in a soup like this, it's not too bad. But I just don't like them by themselves. And you don't have to stick with just kidney beans. You can have 1 can of kidney beans and a can of some other kind of bean if you want to. Just depends. And 4 cups of water. And we're going to let this come to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it for about 30 minutes. And while we take a little break, on here are my spices, my sugar, my salt, and my pepper. Add that in. I'm going to stir that up, bring it to a boil, and then we'll let it simmer for about 30 minutes. We're going to take a little short break, and I'm going to get the bread ready and let us get ready to eat in here. And this, oh, I wish you could smell this. It does smell good. So we're going to take a little short break and be back shortly. Okay, we are back after 30 minutes, and in that 30 minutes time, this is simmered, and oh my goodness, it smells so good. We talk like it smells like a stew. I have gotten some cups together so that we can eat out of our little cups, and some crusty bread over here, and we just got some crusty bread that was already at the store, but you can have cornbread. We've talked about cornbread would have been really good with this too, or saltine crackers, just whatever you like to go with your soups and stews. And now we're ready to just take a cup, dip a little of it up, and while we were on break, I think I figured out why my recipe said so many calories. I think I forgot to type in that the meat had to be drained, and I think the recipe people thought, oh, well, I guess maybe she thinks that she's going to serve all that fat with it. So now you would have this, a piece of crusty bread, whatever you want to drink with it, and this should keep you satisfied all afternoon. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.